All right. Hey guys, welcome to the free affiliate marketing training tonight. We're going to let some more people jump on here. I just got it started. So while we're waiting, just want to make sure everybody knows what happens here inside of Zoom. So it's going to be a little bit different depending on what device you're using, but Zoom's got two different places for you to interact here today. Is the chat area, and then there's a Q&A area. So I would please ask that any questions, put them in the Q&A box. And if you want to do any kind of chatting, let me know where you live, I guess. And, just like to see where everybody is tuning in from. So I am in Austin, Texas myself. It's 7 o'clock. So I apologize to everyone who, if you're watching this replay and didn't get to attend live, I apologize. We just got people from all over the world, so it's hard to make sure that, there's never a good time for everybody, I guess is the best way to put it. So, hey guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Let me know where you're from. We got Australia, Canada, Thailand, Boise, Idaho, Connecticut. Awesome. So I am going to get this thing going here. I don't want to keep everybody on too late tonight. So give me just a second to get this configured. All right, sorry guys. Still trying to share my screen. For some reason it doesn't want to. All right. So what I'm going to do is actually just do it the old school way, because for some reason Zoom doesn't want to cooperate. Shocker. Okay, so let me go into presentation mode at least. Presenter view. So, all right. Sorry about that. Again, everybody that's just now jumping on, if you got questions, there is a Q&A box. And any kind of chat, put it in the chat box. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We got people from, looks like all over the world here tonight. So appreciate you guys being on live with me. It really helps to, get some feedback from everybody. Obviously questions, tons and tons of questions, please. That way I can make sure that I have explained this strategy to the best of my ability without confusing too many people. So, first things first, I wanted to eliminate any kind of hype that was possibly created in the emails that I sent out leading up to this free training. To a lot of people, $600 a day is a lot, and it's a lot to me. $600 a day is a lot. When you work out that kind of math, that's $18,000 a month, which is life-changing income for probably everybody on here tonight. So I don't want people to feel like I'm just making up a number to get people on this thing. 600 is honestly a low, conservative amount, which is typically what I do when I'm telling people about these new opportunities and strategies that I've been using. I don't use my best campaign as the kind of like the headline. It's typically a very watered down version of a good campaign, so that I can manage everyone's expectations and, just I want everybody to understand the strategy, but also the opportunity that's available. But I don't want people thinking that they're gonna wake up tomorrow with all kinds of money in their bank account. So anyway, I wanted to say that first. Managing expectations is a big thing for me because of the space that we're in. Obviously, it's just filled with a lot of hype and ridiculous claims that I'm guessing a lot of times are just made up or not true, at all. So that isn't me. I don't make my money by selling make money courses. This is, the way I put it is a 90-10 split. 90% of my income comes from niches outside of make money online and internet marketing. 10% comes from, the courses and coaching programs that I've sold in the past. And it's honestly getting skewed even more so. So kind of like a 93-7 or even a 94-6 split anymore. It's kind of funny because people email in and ask me, should they enter the make money online niche, and or they'll give me a couple different niches to choose from and tell them, they want to know which one's the best one to get into, and make money online's always in there. And then they always ask, why didn't you say make money online? And the honest answer is I don't get excited about it. I don't get excited about the niche itself. I get excited about sharing these strategies with you, but being in the niche and selling products in the niche is different than teaching the stuff to people so that they can learn it on their own and put it to use. So while I love sharing these strategies, the idea of just getting rich from selling products, teaching people how to get rich is not a kind of like a pyramid type scheme, in my opinion. So that's not me. Everything that you see from me in emails and training and coaching programs, it's all stuff that I have done in niches outside of internet marketing, make money online stuff. And you'll see a couple different examples of that tonight. So let's see how many people we got on. Okay. All right, let's get going. So tonight's free training, how to make $600 a day promoting affiliate products in oddball niches with Google ads. So kind of a little bit of an explanation of what I consider to be an oddball niche. It really can be anything outside of the big three category. So the big three are health, wealth, and relationships. Now that, there are quote unquote oddball niches inside of those three, but a lot of the niches fall outside of those big giant markets. So as far as Google ads, we'll talk about that later on. So let me get going here and make sure we got everything set up right. If at any time I lose audio or video, please let me know in the chat box. That way I don't ramble on for 20 minutes without anybody hearing me. So I would appreciate that. So the simple 3-step strategy, this is not earth shattering, right? Create an ad or set up an ad, send it to a website, and make money. I'm going to obviously explain it a lot more in depth than that here in a little bit, but I wanted to kind of give that little bit of an overview so that in your mind, you can see it on more of a simplified version of it, so that going forward tonight, as we go through the different aspects of it, you can kind of put together some questions for me to make sure that you fully grasp it, and that you can actually take away what you have learned tonight and use it to make money. Literally tonight, if you wanted to, you could go set up one of these campaigns or these ads, and it probably won't be approved tonight by Google. It usually, it's going to take them 24 to 48 hours, but you could set it up tonight because it's, very quick, very easy. So, all right. So first thing, I want to talk about how this is different than everything else that you've seen, and it's different. So going back to this, this is obviously not different than anything, right? It's simple. Everybody that's ever made money online with paid traffic uses this strategy. However, the overall system that I'm talking about tonight is different from anything else that I have ever seen shared online. And it really comes down to three things. These niches have like zero competition as far as paid traffic goes. So hopefully you can see my mouse here. You can see, and this is my keyword research tool, the cost per click column, CPC, is how much advertisers are paying on average per month for a click for these keywords that I have hidden. You'll actually see this this screenshot here later on without it blurred in there. I just wanted to leave that blurred for right now because it's just going to distract you from what I'm trying to teach you here right now. So 0 average cost per click for all of these keywords. Each row is a different keyword phrase. They each have their own specific set of monthly search volumes. So volume is how many times on average people are going to Google in the United States. And I believe this was on a desktop. Everything I usually run is the default, and it's on desktop devices. So how many people in the United States on a desktop device go to Google and search for this keyword phrase? This one is 110,000 searches a month. And the way that you make money is you put in, you go into Google Ads and you bid on this keyword. You say, I want to pay this many cents per click. Anytime somebody clicks on my ad, or anytime somebody searches this phrase, I want my ad to show up. And I'm willing to spend, let's just say 10 cents for somebody to click on my ad and go to my website. And right now there's 110,000 of those people, and nobody else is bidding on this traffic. And so, that raises red flags for like savvy marketers or people that have been doing this for a while. But so when it shows zeros here in a keyword research tool for a keyword phrase that is pretty, common, it's, not anything illegal or anything like that would prevent an advertiser from advertising on Google. The only other reason is that the advertisers don't know how to monetize the traffic, meaning they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with this person who's searching for this. If they show them an ad, they don't know where to send them. And when they send them somewhere, they don't know how to make money from that person. And that's really what the secret is to this whole thing, is turning this traffic, those clicks, into profit. So because nobody is paying, there is no competition here. You can basically set your price. Now Google is going to likely give you a ground floor minimum, and that's going to vary, just depends on the keyword itself. But I tell you, like, even at 10 cents a click, you stand to make a lot of money with this. This is actually all one niche. 717 total keyword phrases, 2.5 million monthly search volume, all the same niche, just different phrases inside of that niche. You would stand to make a lot of money from this. And this is actually the one I'm going to show you here later on, the one that in the emails I told you I would share with you on the free webinar tonight. So, so that's the first thing. That's the first way that this system is different than everything else. Most other, pay-per-click systems or trainings, they tell you to, they basically say, like, hey, that's a red flag. If no other people are bidding on a keyword, stay away from it because it doesn't make money or it's not worth anything. And again, those are people that just don't know how to monetize that. So that's the first thing. Second thing, search volumes are high, click prices are low. Basically talked about that already. And the third thing that makes this different from everything else is how I actually convert the traffic, how I take that click and turn it into a paying customer. Whether that's, 9 times out of 10, it's somebody else's product I'm promoting as an affiliate. Sometimes I have my own products in there, and we'll talk about my dad's stuff here in a little bit. But 9 times out of 10, I'm promoting an affiliate product. It's how I take that click, drive it to my personal website, and turn that visitor into a buyer of someone else's product. And I do that using something I call the ONS formula. So I'll talk about that a little later on as well. So the next thing people really wanted to know when I initially sent the very first email out promoting this this free webinar was like, can you really make $600 per day? Can an absolute beginner, no experience, no technical skills, no big ad budget, no experience or expertise in any niches really in particular, can you really make $600 per day? Truth is, I can't guarantee that you'll make anything because most people don't. A lot of people will sit on this webinar tonight for 2 hours, listen to the whole thing. They'll likely get excited, imagine themselves doing this, imagine sitting down and logging into their Google ad account, creating a campaign, picking out the product they want to promote, setting up their website, that's a really simple website, setting that up. And after the 2-hour call tonight, they'll get off, go watch some TV, and kind of forget about it and write it off as something they can't do. People, like, as humans, we're weird. We're always looking for excuses why we can't do something instead of looking for a way that we can do it. So I can't guarantee you'll make any money because, like I said, 99 out of 100 people won't even just take the time to do what I'm saying, not to mention follow through with it and come back and ask for help when they have a question. So that's the first thing. I can't guarantee anything. However, like I said, you don't need any prior experience or expertise. You don't need any kind of technical skills or abilities or like coding and programming, any of that. You don't need a big ad budget to do any of this. You just saw on the previous slide, the average cost per clicks were 0 for that entire niche. Whether they actually turn out to be 0 is another story. It's likely going to be, 5 to 10 cents a click. However, that, like, 5 to 10 cents a click on Google is like 2005 material. Nobody pays that in the big, huge niches where it's super competitive. You don't need a big ad budget for these things. And the last, it just comes down to simple math. So the easiest way to think about it is take how much you made and subtract it from how much you spent on the ads, and the rest goes in your pocket. What happens in the middle is, again, the secret sauce, but you don't need anything that I've just mentioned to be able to pull that off. So let's take a look at a few other ones. I shared some of these already in the emails leading up to this. This one is actually the one from the previous slide. It's the same niche. 301,000 average monthly search volume, 28 cents a click. So again, like, I'm not showing you, these aren't all gonna be a penny a click or 2 pennies a click. The whole point of this, and I need to stress this, is the whole point is to not search for keywords that have really, really low CPCs. That's not the angle or the game here. The angle is finding these hidden, overlooked, oddball niches and profiting off of them. The only thing that matters is how much you profit, right? So who cares how much the cost per click is? 28 cents is still like really, really, really low. I'm paying more than that on native networks right now. I think we're in 40 to 50 cents a click on Taboola right now. And we're taking as much as we can take from there because it's good traffic. However, it's nowhere near the quality of Google traffic. So 28 cents a click is insane. There's another one, 90,000 a month, 7 cents a click. 40,000 a month, 0. 368,000 a month, 35 cents a click. 60,000 a month, 0. 246,000 a month, 34 cents a click. 550,000 a month, 12 cents a click. So I'm going to stop right here. I want to ask a question and make sure everybody understands. I want to make sure everybody understands what we're looking at on the screen right here on the right. Is anybody confused about what these screenshots are of the keyword overviews? Does anybody have any questions specific to those? Okay. Awesome. Yeah, cool. All right. So a good question, David. He wants to know, are those the amount of clicks I'm getting, or is that the amount of profit you're making? So these are from a keyword research tool. This is like data, basically. What these show is the amount of available keyword searches. So what I have hidden here are keywords. This is stuff people are typing in. They're going to Google and typing in. This one keyword, people are going to Google and typing in 550,000 times a month. As an advertiser, you can put your ad in front of those 550,000 people and only pay 12 cents a click for that ad. So these are all niches that I've done research on with my keyword tool and compiled all of the keyword phrases that are surrounding that niche and basically just showing you all of the different opportunities. This is a very small selection of all of the just all of the oddball niches that are out there. There's just like, I don't even know, I haven't counted them, but there's over 30 for sure that I have saved up. You don't really understand the importance of the research that goes into this stuff before you dive in and just pay money to Google. Being able to see what each of these niches has on a monthly basis and how much the average cost per clicks are would determine what niche maybe you'd want to jump into. So seeing that this one is 34 cents a click, almost 250,000 searches a month, and this one's almost twice as that, more than twice that, but almost 3 times less than that on a cost per click basis. It's important all that stuff before you dive in. And I'm really just showing you these right here to give you an idea of like, hey, can you really make $600 a day? Is there like enough of these niches out there? Is there money out there in these niches? And, can I do it? Can, a beginner do it? Which is why I, mentioned on the side over here, you don't need any technical experience or anything like that. So, okay. All right. So I'm going to kind of bounce, questions, put the questions in the Q&A box, please, guys. That way I don't overlook anything, because I'm I'm going to just stop a few times and ask a question, a very specific question, but I'm not going to stop and answer everyone's questions that really aren't related to what I was asking. So please put your questions in the Q&A box, and I promise I'll answer every single one of them before tonight is over, for the call, or before the call is over tonight, because I do want to get through this, the strategy itself. So the real problem with, well, I'll just say it, the real problem with Google Ads and really like search ads in particular are, people think that they need to be in one of those huge niches, like the ones that I talked about, the health, the wealth, the relationship niches. They think that it's not worth it to get into anything else. So with that being said, I have a question for you here, and I want you to answer this in the chat box, please. What has held you back from using a strategy like this yourself? And what I mean is running pay-per-click ads on Google as an affiliate. What's held you back from using that strategy yourself? If you can answer that in the chat box, that way I can look at it real quick here, and I'll move on, because there's three things that it really boils down to for most people, and it looks like everybody is kind of on the same page so far. So Brian, that's a good one. The knowledge that it's proven to work. That's a good. It's well put. All right. So what everyone is saying here: high CPCs, cost per click, amount of money I have to spend, too expensive. I thought Google hated affiliates. Thought they frowned on affiliates because of a sweeping ban a few years back. Google's not affiliate friendly. Jim got banned by Google for doing it back in 2010. I also got banned from Google once. Still running ads on Google though. Fear of being banned. That's also a good one. Fear of account getting banned. Not confident enough. Training money. Don't have a niche with low CPCs. Too much testing. Okay, awesome guys. I appreciate the feedback. That's awesome. Pretty much right along the lines of what I was thinking. And like I said, there's three, I forgot I added that in there. So the overall answer to that is that gurus are spreading lies. A few of you did mention that you were, actually ran stuff and hit roadblocks on certain different aspects. But the majority of people kind of just assume things based on what they hear. And a lot of, it's always not gurus, it's, talk in the forums and whatnot. So, but like the point is, you can't ever just assume anything to be the truth without seeing it for your own two eyes. So, like I said, there are three overall, kind of categories that, like, all of your responses in the chat there, they all kind of fit into the same one of these three for the most part. There were a few that were pretty unique that were actually very, very good. But most of them fall into these three myths regarding Google ads in general. So first myth, Google doesn't like affiliates, right? So we, heard that one many, I don't know how many times in the chat box there, but it was quite a few. And it's kind of it's a myth, first of all. But it's a very, very, it's a belief that a lot of people have. And I still just don't know why. I attributed it back to gurus, and I call gurus, like I said, gurus can be anybody from a person selling a course to somebody in a forum who has some kind of credibility or authority built up inside of that forum. soon as somebody like that says something, everyone else just takes it as the truth and without even digging any further. The truth really is Google doesn't like advertisers that don't follow their ad policies. That's it. They don't care if you're an affiliate, a vendor, an arbitrager. It doesn't matter. They could care less. A lot of people attribute the things that get you banned or that have your campaigns rejected, they attribute that back to affiliates, because a lot of times affiliates are doing those types of things. They're not following the ad policies. And every single ad network out there makes it like super simple for you. They're out on policies are online for free to go look at. Spend like it literally probably 5 minutes. You can read all of their ad policies, what you can't do, what you can do. You just don't do the things they don't want you to do. And you can run as an affiliate on any single network on the face of the planet. That's, again, Facebook, Google, Taboola, Outbrain, any any ad network in the world. They don't care if you're an affiliate or a vendor. They, a lot of times, they don't even know. They don't know who is the affiliate and who isn't, or who's the vendor and who's an affiliate. They could care less. All they care about is that you are following their ad policies. And why is that? Why do they care about their ad policies? Because that's what keeps them safe in the FTC scrutinization process. They don't want to be on the radar of the FTC, just like you wouldn't want to. If you are doing something shady that could get them in trouble with the FTC, they're just not going to allow it, and you're done. You're not, like, the amount of money you're going to give them is nowhere near worth the risk of doing something the FTC is going to end up suing them for millions, if not billions of dollars. So that's why their ad policies are the way they are. The same with Facebook. They exist to protect themselves from getting sued by the FTC. And also, they say to protect their users, which obviously is going to be the truth as well. But when it comes down to it, they want to stay on the right side of the line when it comes to the FTC. So the myth of Google doesn't like affiliates is wrong. They just don't like people that don't follow the ad policies. When I got banned, I wasn't an affiliate. I was promoting our gardening product, and I was using a sales page that had a claim about like making money from home growing plants, and they just didn't like it. So that was it, done. I wasn't an affiliate. People get banned who aren't affiliates all the time. You get banned because you don't follow the ad policies, not because of whether you're an affiliate or a vendor. So myth number 2, Google ads are too expensive. Heard that one a few times as well here tonight. The truth is, so saying they're too expensive is technically true a little bit, but it's because you just don't know how to properly set up your campaign, or really more specifically, you don't know how to structure your campaign for for long-term success. And that's kind of like beyond the the content of what we are going to cover tonight, like the structure. But either way, like you could set this thing up with one single ad, one keyword, and roll with it, and it's not going to be expensive if you're running in these oddball niches, because that's like the main benefit, right? Is the cheap clicks. But like I said, that shouldn't be the only thing you're looking for. But it is kind of like the side benefit of running in these things. You don't need to, you're not competing with anybody. So the CPCs are very reasonable, if not like super cheap. So while the myth is Google ads are too expensive, let's say you're in a weight loss, the weight loss niche. and you're bidding on like lose weight fast, you know, you're probably in the $1, $2, $3 range per click, and that may seem too expensive. It you know, it is too expensive. However, if you set your campaign up and structure it in such a way that the CPCs don't matter, it, you know, that eliminates the too expensive thing, right? So you're in people's minds, a lot of times they're thinking back to the second slide of this training tonight, where I showed the 3-step strategy: ad, website, money. And when they see $1, $2, $3 a click, they immediately think, "Ah, there's no way I could turn $3 a click into a buying customer for an affiliate product that like $30 commission." You know, you'd have to convert quite a few people. So in that case, the Google ads would be too expensive. But the truth is, you're just not setting your campaign up correctly in order to get the cheaper clicks. So to prove that, here is a screenshot of my Google Ads account. This is an all-time, you can see at the top here, all-time, whatever you want to call it, all the dates whenever Google started here, January 18th, 2004 to, I think I took, this was just 2 days ago, January 18th, 2020. Total, we've gotten more than 3 million clicks at an average of 8 cents a click. So kind of like busts that myth a little bit. You know, and some of these campaigns are not even in oddball spaces. They're let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's at least 3 of them that are within one of those 3 health, wealth, relationship categories. So, and they're probably going to be the most expensive. If you look here, 14, 12, 12. Those are probably the 3 that I'm referring to. But again, those aren't, didn't do a whole lot of volume there, but it's not to say that you can't get cheap clicks no matter the niche. You just have to really know what you're doing. So, all right, last myth here. There's no money in oddball niches. So this is one that nope, I don't think anybody mentioned this one actually. It is a hesitation for people when they see the search volume in a niche like weight loss, because it's just insane. There's so many people there. Like they think, oh man, I'm gonna be rich if I can just put my ad in front of all those people, and they ignore the other niches. That's the reason these oddball niches exist. People overlook them. Affiliates overlook them all the time because they just assume there just isn't enough volume there to make money, like to make it worth their time. The truth is, I've made most of my money online in oddball niches like this. So here's an example. This is one of them. It was one of them in that on that screenshot. Total clicks 1.2 million, 8 cents a click. Total spend, ad spend, almost 100 grand. Total conversions, just under 14,000. Cost per conversion, $7.20. Total revenue, 368 grand. So this is an oddball niche. This is not anything to do with, actually I'm trying to think, I can't even remember what the hell. Oh yeah, this actually is. This is one inside of, or no, I'm totally wrong. This is an oddball niche, not inside of one of the big 3. Apologize, I'm like totally running on like 2 hours of sleep here. Yeah, this is not a niche inside of one of the big 3. This is a true oddball niche. Like I said, there are what I consider oddball niches inside of the big 3, the health, wealth, and relationship categories. There are oddball niches in those that you'll find. A couple examples actually, and things that I've actually run did pretty well with in the past are what a lot of people call embarrassing niches. Um, could be, there's a lot of different things it could be. It is usually health related and or like I don't know how to say it. Like it's like self help type or self improvement, I guess. Um, so man, I'm like drawing a blank on the ones I used to run, but so if you go to ClickBank and look at the health category on the left, go to the ClickBank marketplace, look at the health category on the left, and dig into all the results. Skip over all the ones with the huge gravity numbers, and you'll find like a bunch of little ones with gravities of maybe like 4 or 5. Those are oddball niches. Those are ones that people like me are uh, just stumbling onto and profiting from. A couple of them I profited from for a couple of years before I just decided I was done with it and went into another niche. But so they're like either desperate niches or embarrassing niches. Those are like oddball things inside of like the health space. But one of them is like bacterial vaginosis, like yeast infection type stuff. It's like health things like that, like embarrassing conditions, like stuff like that people don't want to admit to friends and family they have, but they are desperate to get a solution for it. Those are like the oddball things. There's not a lot of competition in those niches. And they do pretty well. So this is just one example from that list on the previous screen. But like I said, I have it. There's at least 30 of these oddball niches that I've researched, compiled stuff for, and either set aside to get to eventually, or actually ended up found the time to do it. And it's like there's well beyond, I would say, probably 100 of these things out there. I just don't have the time, or haven't had the time to actually finish going through where I left off. I probably only made it maybe a third of the way through the ClickBank marketplace. And that's really how I discover these things. I just go to, actually, I think I can do it here for you. And I think I have Zoom set up to where you can actually see my whole browser anyway. So what I do is I'll go into each one of these categories. It's a very tedious process. So I'll pick the first one here. Just click on it. I don't do any other filters up here. I do just one by one scrolling through these things. And the way that I come across things is I figure out what the niche is. So this is like essential guide to singing. So I would go into my keyword research tool. I use SEMrush, which is semrush.com. And I would go in and I would type in, I would just start with one word. I just start with sing or singing and look at all of the different phrases that are returned to you and see what the volumes are, the search volumes are, and the cost per clicks are. That's how I found all of these things. Just slowly going through these hours, spending hours in the ClickBank marketplace, searching each one of these things to just check what the keyword volumes are, the search volumes, and then also the click prices. Just one page at a time, scrolling. That's how you do it. That's how I found all of the ones I found. So that's why I'm saying that this opportunity is even bigger than like how I'm sharing it with you. There's so much more out there that I haven't even found myself yet. Um, However, that being said, the opportunity is huge, but the window of time to capitalize on this opportunity is shrinking. And the reason for that is actually, it's a one reason. Affiliates are literally running out of places to advertise because of the strict policies that affiliates just don't know how to adapt to the changes that these ad networks are making them comply with. You've got to adapt to those changes, or literally you're finding a job somewhere, right? You can't you can't get access to the traffic from the ad network unless you follow the ad network's policies. And so the reason I'm saying that the opportunity to jump on this is right now is because the screenshots that I've showed you of all of those keyword search volumes, those were just from 2 to 3 days ago. I think January 17th were a lot of them. Um, but so those are accurate. The keyword volumes, the CPCs, those are accurate. However, I can tell you right now that hundreds of affiliates have gotten banned from Facebook over the last month alone. I know more than 10 of them personally myself. I've gotten messages on Skype and through email and Facebook from guys asking how I'm running on Facebook as an affiliate. My answer every time is follow the policies. It's simple. Like it's not freaking rocket science, guys. You do what they ask you to do and you can buy their traffic. These guys are just stuck in their ways, and they are lazy. They want to take the short way, the least amount of work possible, and get stuff running as fast as possible. So they'll copy something and throw it up there, and it'll get rejected, and then the account gets banned. Their only option in their mind is to go find traffic somewhere else. So they're coming back to Google and seeing what Google is like, if it's still strict as it used to be, or if they're, if they can get away with something for a little while, then they'll do it. So my point is, people are flooding back to Google, and it's not by like one or two. There's hundreds of people getting banned from Facebook every single day, and Facebook is not giving people reasons for the banning. They're just doing it. And again, it comes down to they just don't want the risk. The affiliates are doing shady things and using fake celebrity endorsements, fake news. That stuff comes across the radar of the FTC very, very quickly, and it falls right back onto the shoulders of Facebook. So it's not worth the risk. It doesn't matter how much the advertisers or the affiliates are paying Facebook. It's nowhere near the amount Facebook would have to pay when the FTC sues them. So the affiliates are getting banned. They just don't know what to do, and they're coming back to Google. I've had a bunch of people ask me, where can I go to advertise as an affiliate? And I'm like, dude, you know all the places like I do. So they're just running out of places. They're going to be coming back to Google because Google's got like 90% of the ad inventory in the world. So my point is, like, if this is of interest to you, don't wait on the sidelines and watch to see how it goes, because you will literally lose money, or not lose money. You will miss out on potential money that you could have made. So, like, why should you listen to me? Why, like, what have I done that you haven't? And I showed you my Google Ads, the screenshot from my Google Ads account. Obviously, that's worth something. I've spent over $200,000 on Google Ads, so I know a little bit about buying ads on Google and operating in these oddball niches, but none of that would have been able to happen. You wouldn't even be hearing from me right now if it weren't for my dad pointing me into this direction and teaching me really everything that he knows about making money online. He started his online business in the gardening niche back in 1999, and at that time he was the age of 43. The picture that you're looking at, I don't know when that was taken. I was definitely after 1999. But if you got my email today, the subject line was "How to Never Work Again." It was actually a sales letter that I had written um, 3 years ago, maybe, for another product, and it just fits perfectly for what I'm teaching you here. So I wanted to use that to kind of get your attention. But in that email today, I talked about my dad hanging a check up next to our computer screen at home, and it was written out to himself. He wrote himself a check for 120 grand, and the purpose was to motivate himself to reach that goal, right? That was the main purpose. So I wanted to share that. He actually had that thing right here. This is like a letter holder. Like you can clip something there and hang it while you're, typing. You can see it while you're typing or something. He had the check right there. This was the only computer we had in our house at the time. So obviously I had seen that, and it wasn't until like years later that I actually figured out what that was, because at that time I was a teenager. I didn't really care what he was doing. I thought he was just going crazy or something. And it really came back to what I figured out was he in his book he said all it took was 9 sales a day at $37 of his product to hit that goal of 120 grand, and he ended up doing it that same year. And I just thought that was a really powerful lesson, and kind of a lesson that took me like 15 years to actually learn. When he got started in 1999, he had he seriously had never touched a computer before. At work they had computers, but he was not somebody that did anything with computers. He was a meter reader that walked around the streets and read the electric meters and water meters. So he had never even used a computer before. I remember it was a Gateway, I believe, that he ordered, and it was delivered one night, and we were all like around surrounding this box as he's opening it, kind of like in the movie The Christmas Story, where he gets that leg lamp, the Fragile leg lamp. That's what that reminded me of. We're all sitting around the living room as he takes the thing out of the box and he's trying to figure out where to plug stuff in and how to turn it on, how to work it. But like the point is he did it, right? He, with no direction, he learned the whole damn thing on his own. So I just wanted to kind of share a little bit of my backstory and really his backstory, because that's what led me to the internet and really being able to pretty much provide for my family just sitting at the computer and clicking buttons and moving my mouse, which is, he basically taught me everything that he knew. So in a few short years after 1999, his business was already doing mid 6 figures a year. I believe that was by 2003, maybe 2004 at the latest. So maybe 4 or 5 years. But that was really because he, again, stumbling along on his own. It was this was pre-Google. You couldn't figure anything out on the computer, like typing stuff in to search for stuff. There's no way. There were a few private like message boards or forums that he belonged to that he was able to get some advice from those people, which was nice. But the majority of it was done on his own. So what about me, right? Like he, again, I told you, he pretty much shared everything with me. But before that, I didn't have any special training. Never went to college. I ended up filing bankruptcy at the age of 22, just making dumb decisions financially. I'm not good at coding or programming. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. just a few short years ago, I was actually selling wood and making 40 grand a year, pulling my hair out, working about 70, 80 hours a week, on a slow week, really. But in 2010, I ended up getting a mentor, which is my dad, and thankful every day that I was able to do that. So I read at that from that moment on. I read every single marketing book I could find and invested thousands of dollars in training and courses. Joined countless high-level mastermind groups. Some of them were 25K a year. But most importantly, I put my money where my mouth is. You know, I live and breathe this stuff every day. Like the Google Ads screenshot you saw, you know, that was my money. You know, not we, well, I'm saying we because my dad, what I didn't actually tell you, what I meant to say, I left that part out. Where I learned the Google stuff was from my dad. He was actually spending, excuse me, he was spending 10 grand a month on Google before I even got started with him. This was 2007, 2008, I believe, is when he started. Or no, it was actually earlier than that. But he was spending 10 grand a month up until about 2011, I believe. So I learned the Google stuff from him. A lot of what I'm sharing with you tonight stemmed really from the education that I got from him, and it was more so marketing than anything. It wasn't like, yeah, you got to set your campaign up like this, and you can't use tracking here. Like he doesn't, he doesn't know that type of stuff. It's the marketing, the psychology, that those are the things that make the difference when you're competing with other people. So when I say I put my money where my mouth is, what I mean is I've already spent probably more money than you ever plan on spending to learn the things that I'm sharing with you. I've learned just as much the hard way as my dad did, because what I learned from him was how to sell your own product. But when I got started, I didn't have any of my own products. I still only have, really the majority of my own products are internet marketing related, and I don't really ever spend a dime to promote those. I only, if you're on this free webinar tonight, it's because you're on my email list. I don't put people onto webinars and stuff from paid traffic and or anything like that. I just don't, you know, I operate in, like I said at the beginning, niches outside of internet marketing. 90% of my time and money. The rest is, you know, in the internet marketing world. I say this a lot to my friends and people that I deal with on a weekly basis, who are our marketing friends. They are constantly trying to get me to do things with my courses and trainings, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to. I don't want to like spend my time in this niche, because I see a lot more money outside of this space, and this niche is just saturated, and it's filled with a lot of the same type of people that, you know, I hate to say, they don't take action, you know, and it drives me crazy. You know, I know I can't fix that, but it's the truth. So let's dive into the strategy a little bit more here. Step one, create a PPC search ad campaign. Again, this doesn't have to be Google. I prefer Google just because of the amount of volume they have and the quality of the traffic. I actually like when the ad networks have fairly strict policies, because it prevents, you know, like shady affiliates from taking over the network and taking the quality and making it extremely poor. So it can be a Bing search campaign. This works with any pay-per-click search search engines. Bing, Yahoo, and MSN and Google are the biggest. There are others out there, but those are really the biggest ones. This will work with any of them. So step one is creating an ad campaign. And again, this is a super simple super simple ad. Like you don't need a very strict structure. You don't need all kinds of different ads that you're testing and different targeting options and demographic related things. I'm talking about just a pay-per-click search ad campaign. So this isn't display network. This isn't banners. No YouTube or videos. This is the the old school Google ad. Yeah, the ads that show up at the top of the search results when you do a search. That is what I'm talking about when I say PPC search ad campaign. Your ad points to your website. People click your ad, they land on your website, and your website is the only job of your website is to convert that traffic into buyers. It's literally that simple. There are no complicated funnels necessary because, well, for a few reasons. The beauty of running a search ad is you can bid on a very, very specific keyword phrase that shows very specific intent, meaning when somebody types in buy a plasma TV, for example, I don't even know if plasma TV still exists, but somebody types in buy plasma TV online, like, pretty well what they want to do when they click that ad, right? Their intent is to buy something. On the other hand, when somebody types in which TV is better, plasma or LCD or LED, that is somebody who's not as far along in the buying cycle. They're still gathering information, trying to figure out what TV they want, probably checking prices. That's the biggest difference, and really what I guess is partially a reason for success in this is with a PPC search ad campaign, you have the ability to target those very specific keyword phrases where exactly what that person was typing in. So I need a little bit of interaction here. It's been a little while since I've asked anything to you guys. Do you want to see a hidden, overlooked oddball niche? Let me know in the chat. So all you guys over in the other side of the world, time to wake up because you're going to want to see this. Awesome. Again, just a reminder, any questions that you guys have, please put them in the Q&A box. That way I don't miss them in the chat box. I see a few in the chat box there. Cool. Here it is. So the niche is how to draw. So remember remember this screenshot with all the blurred out nonsense? This is the exact niche. This is the list. Again, the 717 keywords, the total volume, 2.5 million. You can see the CPCs the majority of them are zeros. Actually, I pulled out some that were not zero. And I really just did that to prove the point that, look at all these ones that are zero cost per click. There are actually more in there that are not zero, but they're less than 10 to 15 cents. So there's still there's a couple up in this range, this kind of volume up here, that are sub 15 cents a click. So I got a couple other screenshots here to show you. This is just to show you the first one, how to draw rows. I just did a Google search, no ads running. These are images, these are videos. Then it went straight into the organic search. I did also scroll down to the bottom, There were no ads at the bottom of those either. I did that with, but when I do when I do this type of research, uh, I go very, very in depth. I eliminate any kind of guessing, meaning like I don't look at the first thing and assume that all the rest of them are exactly the same, because a lot of times it doesn't work like that. So you, you're, you end up, you'll end up finding one and it looks cool. It looks like a promising opportunity. And you look at the next one, like if I were to check out how to draw a unicorn maybe, and I go there and see that there's like, 4 ads at the top, 4 ads at the bottom, I would be like, what the heck? There's no way that this is still 0. That wouldn't be accurate. So when I do this research, I dive deep into this and verify all of these things, because as much as I love my trusty keyword tool, it's still a tool. It's still a piece of software. It's never going to be 100% accurate. But you use the tool to identify the opportunities, then you validate those opportunities yourself. So that's all this image is showing you, like, hey, no ads there. On the right, these are ClickBank products in the art niche. And all I did here, again, I showed you in ClickBank already how I find these things. So how I found the how to draw one, I probably, I saw one of these art drawing products in ClickBank. I went over to my keyword tool and typed in either draw or drawing, or I might even started with learn to draw, because that's probably what the product said. So like, the way you find them is going to really depend on, how you're searching. It's one of those things you got to just kind of figure out your own way as far as like finding this stuff. But that's, I like to share my strategies and the ways that I do things, because I think people can learn from that and pick up their own, unique strategies along the way. So, so that this is the niche. A lot of people are going to, well, I can put this politely or not. I'm not going to put it politely. A lot of people are going to just give me all kinds of excuses as to why they can't make this work. That's you. Just leave. Just leave the webinar, please, because I can't help you. I can't literally go to your house, put my hand on your hand, put both of our hands on the mouse and make you do this stuff, right? Like I can only do so much for you. You got to take the reins at some point and make this work for yourself. Again, always happy to answer questions, but don't come to me with excuses or problems. So let me rephrase that. Don't come to me with excuses. If you come to me with a problem, also come to me with a few possible solutions that you think might work. Because I'm always willing to reply to anybody's emails. Ask anybody probably on this webinar, and they'll say that I'm always pretty responsive, like meaning usually within 24 hours, I'll respond to an email. I'll also give you like a legit real answer, not a one-liner that, a lot of guys would probably do. But when it's presented to me in a way that is like, I don't want to do this work. Here's why I don't want to do it. Tell me how I could do it easier. I can't help you. So again, this is the niche. I showed you how I basically found it. I literally went to the same exact category without even really thinking about it, but I did. And I think one of those products was even on that first page. Went to the SEM Rush, and again, type it in, hit the button, look at the results, verify all this stuff is accurate. then it's time to think about strategy, like how do you go from bidding on this keyword to promoting this product to them and making money from it. That's kind of the way, that's where everybody kind of gets hung up. And it comes back to those three myths that we talked about already, right? If traffic's too expensive, I don't know. I don't know how to do this without getting banned. I'm afraid that I'm going to waste time on this and it's not going to work. Obviously, those are all objections. They're not necessarily excuses, and that's fine. But that's where the main strategy of this comes in. So you want to know how to set one of these oddball niche campaigns up for yourself. I'm assuming all of you do. After seeing that, somebody said it. I glanced over at the chat box. Somebody said, who would have thought that how to draw was, like an oddball niche like this, like there's potential to make $600 a day in this niche. That's a legitimate 600 a day. If I took the time to do this, I would have never taken the time to do this research for myself without there being at least that potential. Because to me, that would be a waste of time if I were, $100 a day or $200 a day. That's really good money. However, I could pick a different niche and do the same amount of work and make more. So this is a legit minimum $600 a day niche. Just these keywords that I found, 2.5 million monthly searches. The main, like I said at the very beginning, the secret is how you go from here to here and make it work. And it comes down to math, but it really comes down to the strategy you're using to convert that person. Here's the thing. Yeah, I'm like way behind already, but I can't believe that we're already an hour and 12 minutes through this. There's just nowhere near enough time to show you like every single detail of this. The strategy itself is like super simple. We already said that, ad, website, make money, but you got to know how to identify the right keyword, how to structure your ad, meaning like, depending on the keyword, what do you say in the ad that's going to get that person to click, but not only click, but qualify them as a buyer or qualify them as somebody who would be at least interested in buying at some point. And it's a skill that is actually very, very simple to do. It just takes a decent amount of time to explain. And that's just the first step, right? Like creating the ad is step one. Step two is actually setting up the site. And the site really should be set up in a specific way to where you can, maximize the most, get the most out of your ad spend. Even though your cost per clicks on, the draw niche or whatever are likely going to be very low, if you can't convert them, then it's still wasting money, right? You want to be able to convert as many of those clicks as possible. And so what I'm saying is it would just take me way too long, like to do all of that in a step-by-step fashion, on just this webinar tonight. I'd be up till like 3 a.m. So what I decided to do is just put kind of a special offer together so you can get everything that you need to know. And by everything, I mean like literally every single step of the way. A few months ago, I did a affiliate marketing course called Affiliate Ground Zero, and people absolutely loved it. And they loved it because every step that they needed to know how to do was recorded on video for them. And they could go back and, rewind it, pause it, fast forward it. They could watch as many times as they need to and make sure they got everything set up the way I told them to set it up. And that's exactly what I wanted to do here. I wanted to be able to explain the strategy in that exact fashion. Initially, I was actually going to share this just kind of share the overall opportunity inside of my paid newsletter. But after thinking about it, I'm like, man, I don't think I'd be helping anybody doing that, because I'm not really be able to share the whole strategy with them. There's just no way I could fit it into even a piece of that paid newsletter. So what I've decided to do is put together what's called the Oddball Niche Secrets 6-week coaching program. So what you're going to get with this coaching program is everything, like I just said, everything is going to be video. So there's going to be 6 live sessions. The first session is actually next Monday, the 27th. Sorry, just verifying that. That's the first session. There'll be one video or one live session once a week for the next 6 weeks. All of those will obviously all be recorded. Because there's people all over the world. I know you can't attend live to, just depends on the time of the day, but those will all be recorded, and everything that you need to know to capitalize on this opportunity will be inside of this coaching program. The first thing being the PPC campaign blueprint. So this is how to set up the actual ad campaigns. And I'm not only going to cover Google. I plan on covering Bing as well, because I know a lot of people are interested in Bing. I do like Bing a lot for a lot of different reasons. It's a great beginner's ad network. They just don't have the type of volume that Google has. It's still a great network. So I am gonna cover in detail Google and Bing, and how to set up your ads, how to set up your campaigns, and not just how to set them up, but how to set them up and structure them properly so that they last for a very, very, very long time. Next thing is the Oddball Niche website plan. So this is basically the structure of the site itself, the template, so to speak. Meaning like how is it laid out, what should be on the page, what shouldn't be on the page. All of that will be covered inside of that. The ONS conversion formula. So this is more so like the meat of the website. What's on the page that makes the person convert. And a part of this formula is actually, like I said earlier, has to do with the ad itself as well. You've got to have a little bit in your ad to be able to kind of qualify the person, but also kind of persuade them a little bit in the ad before they even click. That'll be included in that. And the scale and automate recipes. So this is probably the most important part of the entire thing. It's the kind of, once you've got it set up and you've got it nailed down and it's working, what do you do then, right? Like how do you make this thing evergreen, but also make it to where you can make make it the most amount of money possible without the least amount of work. That's basically the whole thing, right? You want to be able to scale it and automate it so you can make the most money. So who was this worked for? Well, like I said, I haven't really shared this actual system with any of my subscribers or even students. I've told a few close friends, marketing friends, about what a couple of different niches I've been in, but the strategies behind this. So the stuff that I told you about with my dad, the stuff that he learned and taught me, the same principles apply. It's all the same stuff that makes it work. Like I said, the biggest difference is going to be the conversion part in the middle. So people with zero experience, people who are introverts, people who are afraid of paid traffic, people who lack technical experience, people who don't like writing content, and people with a tiny ad budget. This, again, I said from the very beginning, this stuff is not hard, guys. It isn't hard at all. You don't need any experience. You don't need to be able to write stuff. You don't need a bunch of money. Um, I gravitate towards this type of strategy because I am like a massive introvert. I being on this webinar and having to do this, like, it literally makes me sweat. Like, just one of those types of people where I get nervous talking in front of more than two people or more than one person, honestly. So I gravitate, a lot towards this type of strategy because you are able to kind of build your own, build your own lifestyle based on the stuff you really want to do. And you don't need to like get up at 7 in the morning and do it. You can just kind of, call your own shots. And so, like I said, I never shared this with anyone, never really planned to share it with anyone. And the only way really that you could ever get this out of me is come down to Austin and hang with me for a day for an in-person power day, which that starts at 10 grand, and it just depends on what we need to cover, how much we need to cover. That's the only way you'd be able to get it out of me, because it would literally take that long to get you up to speed, but also be able to build out the whole thing for you. And that's really what it's really what happens in a power day. We get locked in a room for 8 hours. I'm not like trying to sell anybody on a power day, because it's nuts, I'll tell you that. And it's a lot. It's a big commitment, but I'm trying to relate what I'm going to share with you in this coaching program to what you could really compare it to. The easiest, it would be like an 8 to 10 hour power day at 10 grand. So I never, like I said, I already said that, I never shared this. All right. I put these things in here way too many times. So again, you're getting all 4 of these: the PPC campaign blueprint, the oddball niche website plan, ONS conversion formula, the scale and automate recipe. Total value at almost 9 grand. Here's the deal, guys. This bonus alone is worth probably 100 times the price or the investment that I'm going to be asking for this coaching program. The amount of time and work that I've put into researching these niches is nuts. And I researched them for my own use. And I'm sharing all of them with the first 30 people who enroll tonight. Just the first 30. And I'm going to timestamp this. I can see exactly down to the second who ordered, when they ordered or enrolled. And the first 30 people will get these, the list of the 30 hidden, overlooked, oddball, ClickBank niches. These are pretty much like a complete jump start. And it's days worth, honestly, it's days worth of time that I've put into researching these things. I had to think about it, because I'm like, man, it was certainly more than like a couple of days that I just did nothing but dive into these things, because I was just super excited. So what I did, some of these I've had for years, but what I did was go back through here over the last few days and just updated these search volumes and CPCs, just to make sure everything was still good to go, and that I would, quote unquote, call it an oddball niche. So those are, again, the most valuable part of this whole thing, honestly. Obviously the strategy and the way that you convert people is extremely important, but this list is literally worth its weight in gold. Bonus two, my high converting ONS website template. So this is only going to be for the first 20 people. Again, the template itself, not a whole lot of like secret stuff to it. It's a template, and the layout itself has proven to be successful. It gets, good conversions. It's not like, you can't just copy what I'm showing you in the coaching program in the first week. You can totally do that. Just the bonus itself, the template makes it easy on you. You don't need to mess with anything. It just pretty much does it for you. So that's the first 20 people. Let me add all these things up here. Total value, almost 12 grand. So if all of this did was finally prove to you that you can make money online, would it be worth it? Right? Like, I know how like skeptical most people are, especially on sales type presentations, when it gets down to a pitch at the end like this. And you like the pressure you feel, and and the decision is tough. I get it. It like, I don't know any other way to say it, but at some point in your life, you have to trust yourself and trust your gut. And nobody's gonna do any of this for you. You will have to do this stuff on your own. But what I'm sharing with you is what worked for me, what's still working for me, what worked and works for my dad. It's all the same stuff. It's the strategy and the tactics behind the strategy that make it successful. But the proof that someone else is doing it is probably the most important thing that you get from being a part of a coaching program like this. So, like I said, the step-by-step guidance is really what a lot of people need. And really, it didn't really kick in for me until a couple months ago when somebody actually reached out and said, like, hey, do you actually have a training that takes people from step 0, step 1 to the end, all on video? And I had to think about it, and the answer was no. Like, I just assumed people like already had an autoresponder or knew how to buy a domain and connect it to hosting. And after thinking about it, I don't know why I would just assume that type of stuff. So everything that you get with this is step by step. Nothing like you won't not know anything. So being able to have a consistent, reliable income is it's extremely important for me. Obviously, it's what I rely on month after month is being able to provide for my family, and the internet has given me that freedom. And thanks to my dad for pushing me in this direction and encouraging me to share this type of stuff with people who are receptive and who are willing to take it and use it and put it to action. But you can't ever get there without doing the work. And the consistent, reliable income, it comes from putting the work in up front. And you just got to know what to do. And I know that's probably why you're on this training, why you're still on the training, is you just want the plan. So that's exactly what I'm giving you here tonight. So let's talk about like what one of these campaigns is worth to you. I used the number $600 a day from the very beginning, the very first email. So I'm just going to stick with that. $600 a day. Like I said, it's 18 grand a month. It's 216,000 a year. That is just nuts. It's insane for one of these campaigns. Like, I don't even think you can fully imagine having something like that. Like owning basically a cash machine that just puts money in your account every single month. It's a unique feeling. But you don't even really know how good you have it until you really have to look back at what other people are doing and how they're living their life still. And the things they've got to sacrifice on a daily basis. Like you don't understand how good you have it with something like this, with like a $600 a day campaign, until you're able to compare it to, you know, friends or family that are still having to do 9 to 5 and deal with all of the stress and nightmares and that. So how much would you pay for a campaign that makes you 18 grand a month? Like it makes my in-person power day seem like a steal at like 10 grand, right? Because you pay like 10 grand for something that's going to make you 18,000 a month. It's like pretty much a no-brainer. So you can see why this would be a good deal at 10 grand. However, when I turn this out and open it to general public, it will be released at $997, no less than $997. However, because you are a special subscriber, one of my, you know, again, if you're on the live session with me tonight, you are only, this is exclusive for subscribers. So nobody else is seeing this but you right now. You can get started right now for just $497 today. And you can sign up at oddballnichesecrets.com. That webpage is live. And remember that the bonuses are a first come, first serve. Here's bonus number 3. 30-minute Skype call with yours truly. This is for the first 10 people who join. This is seriously a $2,000 value. I never used to do consulting or coaching of any kind, like on the phone. And just over the last couple of years, I started doing it because I see the value in helping other people more than really accepting the money. But to make it worth my time. And again, I'm an introvert, so being on the phone and talking and stuff like that is not my ideal situation. I charge pretty heavily for that. So this is limited to the first 10 people. And again, that link is oddballnichesecrets.com. $497 today is the investment. So right now you have 2 choices. First is obviously just do nothing and not take me up on the amazing offer, which is 100% risk-free, which I'll talk about the risk-free in a second. Second option, invest a small amount with potential for a massive return and just give it a shot. You know, if it works, great. If not, just ask for your money and get it back. So here's my crazy guarantee. There are 2 parts to this system. Your website. So the way that this guarantee works, if you can't get your website set up, let me know and I will personally set it up for you. Second part is your ad campaign. If you can't get your ads set up, I will personally log in and set them up for you. I've actually been offering this type of guarantee for a couple of years now, and it works very well. You know, this is where people get hung up a lot on, is the technical stuff. And this actually is a very like non-technical strategy, if that's even like a phrase or a word. There's very little tracking that's needed. You know, you don't need any kind of like special code you need to know or anything like that. However, it is a bit of a confusing process initially until you can kind of get your, you know, get familiar with the ad platform and that type of thing. So you want to make sure that you ask for help. Okay, like this is part of the guarantee. Like I will actually do this stuff for you if you just get stuck. So the second half of that crazy guarantee, you sign up today and don't like it for any reason. I don't care if it's 29 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes from now. Just let me know. I'll give you your money back. I'm not somebody that holds money and, you know, like tries to play it by the fine print of, well, you ordered it yesterday and yesterday was 30 days. So, you know, whatever. I'm not like that. You ask for your money back, you're going to get your money back. So the real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out, which if it does even half of what I'm claiming today, it will pay for itself 36 times over every single month. That's pretty insane, actually, which is, you know, true, right? Right now I'm asking $497 for this investment. And $600 a day is 18 grand a month. So that's 36 times over every single month. All right. So there are two types of people in this world: those who dream about achieving financial freedom without ever taking any action to make it happen, or those who are ready to take action when the opportunity presents itself. So which one are you? Again, I don't like pressuring people to do anything they don't want to do. So the guarantee is there for a reason. Get in there and try it out. You got 30 days, right? We're gonna be through 4 lessons in 4 live sessions in 30 days, and you've got all of that time to figure out if it's right for you. It's 100% risk free. So the bonuses are getting snatched up, guys. People have already signed up. Again, you can sign up oddballnichesecrets.com. And we'll go through this list real quick here. So, the most important of these that you want to pay attention to, this list of niches for the first 30 people, the website template for the first 20, and the Skype call with me for the first 10. I can't tell how many people have already signed up. I can see that there are people have enrolled, but I can't tell what the tallies are yet. So, you want to get signed up to grab those bonuses, because this is a legit scarcity deal. If you've been through any of my other coaching programs in the past, you know that I stick to the number of people who can get these bonuses, because I do believe in fast action, taking fast action, and I believe in rewarding people who take fast action. So the list of niches, first 30 people, website template, the first 20. Again, I can't tell. Orders are still coming in. 2 more just came in. So if you're at all interested, again, the guarantee is there for, excuse me, the guarantee is there for that reason. It gives you 30 days to figure out if it's right for you. So if you didn't sign up immediately, it's usually for one of 3 reasons. You don't think you have a big enough ad budget, which, like I said, these are incredibly cheap clicks. With a network like Google or Bing, you can start out for a couple bucks a day. Even you don't even need to, you don't need to do anything more than that to start out. So you don't need a huge ad budget. Number 2, you're nervous about setting up the website and ad campaigns. Like I said, with the guarantee, if you've got trouble getting that stuff done, let me know. I will do it for you. Not a problem at all. And the last thing, you think it's too expensive. I totally get it. It is a lot of money. $497 is a lot of money. There's nothing I can say that is really going to change your mind if you think it's too expensive. Everybody can afford what they can afford, and that's it. All I can say is, it's an investment. It's not a expense. And, anytime that I signed up for training or courses or masterminds, I learned this from my dad back when we were signing up for this stuff together. We joined the first one, I think, was a $10,000 a year mastermind. And, he's like, this is a investment. We can write it off as an expense. However, it's an investment, because for every dollar that we're putting towards it, we should be getting back 2 to 3 to 10 in return. And he's absolutely right. And that first meeting, we got our money's worth in the first 10 minutes. So it's true that way. Just a reminder again, the first 10 people, it looks like we're close. I'm not good at math. I can't tell, again, I can't tell the total number of people who signed up. I just see that they're coming in. Sales just keep coming in. So, get it. All I can say is take action, guys. That's why I put these limits on the bonuses, because I want you to take action. And I know that people just need that extra nudge to push them over the edge. But I promise you, once you do that and you get in and you start doing and applying this stuff, it will change your life. You know, when I got started in this, I never once believed that I'd be doing what I'm doing right now today. So it changes your life and it changes it for the better. You know, I'm able to share what I do outside of internet marketing, all these other niches. I'm able to share that stuff, you know, with people like you. So, and another recap of everything. And I put this in there like 400 times. Again, the most important part of that are the bonuses. Those are the ones that are going to go away eventually. Bonus 1, first 30 people, bonus 2, first 20, and the Skype call is probably gone by now. The first 10 people for that. You can get started now, $4.97 today. Sign up oddballnichesecrets.com. I am going to hop over and start answering questions here. I've got a whole slew of them. So let's see. Okay. All right. If you got questions in the in the chat box, make sure they're in the Q&A because I'm not going to have time to go back all the way back through all the chat. All right. Let's see. All right. So again, remember these questions they started coming in even right at the beginning. We got the first question at 7:04 my time here. So about, right when we got started. So first question, Alex, direct linking to affiliate offers, say something like ClickBank is a big no-no with Google ads, right? Again, it's all about policy, Alex. If you can find compliant ClickBank offers, which they are out there, you can absolutely run direct linking with Google ads. Probably the biggest part that you're going to have trouble with though is your URL being different than the landing page URL. So either way, like I wouldn't recommend direct linking into a ClickBank offer from Google just because just for that very reason. You know, the landing page URL is going to be different from the URL in your ad. But, you know, again, I want to make sure that everybody understands that it's not just affiliate offers. Like when you're running your own ads on Google, you've got to use the same URL that they're going to land on. They want transparency there. So. Gary asked if it's being recorded. Yes, it's being recorded. The replay will be made available for a few days. Yep. Peter, good question. What does zero CPC actually mean since Google doesn't provide ad traffic for free? What does zero actually cost when you advertise? That's going to be, like I said earlier, it's going to vary depending on the niche and what they think you should pay. When it comes down to it, that's really what it is. Google kind of makes up their own pricing based on what they think you're going to make as the advertiser. So with a zero CPC, I would, like I said, you're going to be probably 10 cents or less, 10 at the most. You saw there were a couple other keywords in there that were 7 cents and then 12 cents. So, there's no way you're going to go from a zero up to, 20 or something unless the keyword is just, totally messed up in there. Don's asking, you recommend bidding 10 cents with a strategy or lower? Again, it's going to vary, based on the niche and the keyword. They're all going to be different priced. With a zero CPC, yeah, I would probably start with 10. Somebody asked, are the CPCs for search traffic or GDN? They're search traffic only for that, the keyword tool I was using. how do you, next question, how do you identify these keywords? Like I probably, you probably asked this before I went over and showed in ClickBank, but I just go to the ClickBank marketplace and just browse it, you know, kind of an old school, you know, you're clicking and hunting and looking for something that piques your interest as what could be potentially an oddball niche. So you take a word from there and you know, put it in the keyword tool and see what it spits out as far as search volume as well as cost per click. And the tool that I use is SEMrush. There are free ones, and free one is Uber Suggest, Neil Patel's tool. Mark, you're asking, how do I distinguish oddball niches from some other perhaps larger niches? Am I jumping ahead? That's a good question. It's like I said, it is more so about the like lack of competition, and like you're not really gonna. So it has to. It's kind of like a formula that I use. It's a little bit complicated to explain right here, kind of just an audio, but it's a formula based on the search volume. So potential, you know, average searches a month, the cost per click, so how low the cost per click is, but also the competition of other advertisers with that keyword phrase. So when you use those in a pretty simple formula, actually, it's just a little complicated to explain without looking at it. You can kind of identify them that way, and some aren't going to be very obvious. Others are going to be like totally obvious. Don asked, when bidding, would you use phrase match? Yes, I always use phrase match. So you've got three options when you're bidding on a keyword phrase: broad match, phrase match, exact match. And phrase match means that whatever you're bidding on, whatever that phrase is, needs to be somewhere in the person's search. And phrase matches is always at least what I start with. I never go with broad match unless it's like a single keyword phrase or something like that, or something that would just never potentially bring up another type of ad. I think yeah, the keyword tool I use again is SEMrush. John, I only see cost of ads. I'm not sure what you're asking there, or maybe you were commenting. Sorry, looks like you were commenting when I asked, like, why haven't you done this before? That makes sense. Mick is asking, ClickBank gravity less than 5. Yeah, I don't like. So this is like another myth where a lot of affiliates get hung up on, is like you shouldn't be promoting ClickBank products with a gravity less than something. I've made really, really, really good money as the only affiliate selling or promoting the product. So don't think that gravity means that it's not going to convert or it's not going to make money. I don't have like a specific criteria when it comes to gravity. All I wanted to know is that somebody, at least one person, has made money with it recently. And the way you know that in ClickBank is it will show, well, the gravity will be more than 0. Yeah, Don kind of asked a somewhat similar question. In finding oddball niches in ClickBank, do you focus on low gravity offers and stay away from high gravity? That's usually the case. There will be an odd exception where you may find a niche with a higher gravity, but still low competition on ads. Those are very rare, but typically you're going to be like below a 10 probably in gravity. Next question. Once you have a list of keywords for an oddball niche, you import them into Google Keyword Tool and see which keywords have the lowest CPC. That is how you select keywords, right? I mostly do it with the keyword tools that I use, which is really SEMrush. Um, they're pretty accurate as far as cost per click go. But that gets me, 80% of the way, and it's good enough to get the campaign going based on the keyword tool. How does Bing compare is the next question. I mentioned, I talked about that a few different times, probably since you asked the question, but just to recap, Bing is great. I love it for beginners, and their ad policies are not as strict, obviously, and the only downside is they just don't have the amount of volume that Google has. So, like I said, I am going to cover Bing as well as Google in the coaching program, so you'll be able to learn both of those. And so, kind of a little bit of a tangent with Bing. They've got some hidden networks like inside of them that have some also pretty cheap cost CPCs, and a lot of people don't know that ad inventory exists in there. So I'll cover that as well. Patrick, yes, there is it's being recorded and there will be a replay. So just guys, just an update here. Orders are still coming in. So if you are interested in the really the two bonuses, the first, the Skype call is definitely gone. I honestly don't even know if the website template is gone or not. I can't tell from here, but I would recommend getting in tonight. Like if you're interested, getting in tonight, because as soon as I send this out to send the replay out to my list, those spots are all going to get taken up. So it's kind of the benefit of being on here live. Like I feel bad for the people that can't make it live just because of the time of day or other obligations that they have. But I just can't ever make everybody happy, but it's just the benefit of being on here live. So again, recommend getting in there when you can, and securing those bonuses. Next question: how long does this process take in order to get the first profit? Like as soon as they approve your ad, you could be making money that the very first click, right? It's not like SEO where you got to do the work and wait for months for stuff to happen. It's when you're running ads like this, it's immediate once you're approved. Don's asking if this method can be used with direct linking. Like I said, it can. It can be. You've just got to follow the policies. So, like I said, the toughest part's going to be sliding through with a different landing page URL than what your ad is showing. So, like I don't recommend doing direct linking with Google. Direct linking with Bing is fine because they don't care if your landing page can be different than what your ad is showing, because you can have like a tracker and all that stuff, but Google's a little bit different. Alex is asking a good question. Just wondering if you, did you run ads on this how to draw niche to validate whether the profits were there, or is this just an example niche with potential? This is just an example. However, I can, again, I don't ever like guarantee anything, but I've done extensive research on all of the niches that I'm going to share with the first 30 people. So I know, like I wouldn't have did the amount of research I did on it without knowing whether or not there was potential for money there. So it's good to go. Al, we've got a question here. For the website as the target for PPC campaigns, would you recommend using a single generic domain and build multiple unrelated landing pages, or should you use a specific domain with keywords for each niche and landing page, or is it effective to just use a funnel builder like ClickFunnels for all these landing pages? Thanks. I would definitely pick a niched domain name. Google's going to want to see that, so that's part of the that's part of like the campaign side of things. Getting everything complied with Google the way they want, and that's one of the things I do recommend is basically building a specific site for each niche. So like you don't like people, you don't need to focus on building a ton of these things. You pick one of these and focus on just that, and it's enough to replace your income, like without a doubt. So that think more along. It's not like native ads or anything like that where you're running like ads to a bunch of different landing pages for a bunch of different niches. Think of this as one site, and you're in one niche, and you can focus just on that, and you can make really good money. Alex is asking, do you use volume for tracking PPC ads? I do with Bing. You can't use volume with Google. They'll just immediately ban your account because there's so much, just like so much spam and fraud stuff that happens through volume links, because most of the black hat guys use volume. So they just flat out ban anybody that uses volume. So I'm lucky I didn't learn that one the hard way, because I absolutely would have. I love volume, but tracking is just a little bit different in Google. Next question: how much money is usually needed as an estimate to test a campaign to see if it's viable and profitable? Some ad networks need a big budget before optimizing, like native ads. So what's the type of test budget needed to find out if a campaign is profitable? Yeah, you don't need anything like native ads. Native is a bit of a unique animal. Google, it is going to vary on the niche. I would like to see an ad budget of $200 probably and again, you're not like spending all that in a couple days, but be able to spread it out and be able to run a lengthy campaign, because you're not ever just going to find a winner right out of the gate. As far winner meaning like a perfect setup in your campaign. The niche itself could be it's pretty hard to choose a niche that isn't a winner, because you can make it a winner in a million different ways. All right, I keep getting a bunch more questions, so I'm trying to get through these things. Stuff that I've already answered, guys, I apologize. I'm just skipping over them because I have answered it already. So if I haven't like said your exact question and give you a direct response, it's because I've already answered it previously at some point. Again, there is a recording that I'll make available here as soon as Zoom makes it available to me, and that will you can go back through and check out the recording to get your answer. Next question: is the course dripped out over 6 weeks? It's not really dripped out. So this is a brand new coaching program. I'm doing it. I'm creating it live with this first initial group. It's starting January 27th. Sorry, I can't remember the exact time on that day, but it's January 27th, so a week from today, and it'll be one session a week for the next 6 weeks. Chris is asking, is there much crossover with the ONS strategy with the bigger niches? I guess what I assume what you're asking, Chris, is like, can you use the ONS strategy for the bigger niches? Absolutely. So the strategy itself is it's unique to the oddball niches. That's what ONS is actually oddball niche secrets. But the ONS strategy is about really honing in on something specific and converting that person because of how specific your campaign is. And I know that's kind of like a a vague answer, but it's it's just tough to explain this stuff in 2 hours time. So that's why the coaching program exists, though. Hey, Brian, I appreciate that. Brian said, great info. I'm in your other program, the 30-day affiliate Ground Zero Bootcamp. But if you set up my campaign, I have a MCC account, so I'm in, Dustin. I'm looking forward to working with you. Awesome, Brian. Glad to have you. For those that don't know, an MCC account is basically kind of like a business manager for Google, where you can manage a bunch of Google accounts underneath of it. I have one as well. I use for a couple different, a local client, but also one of my friends. I run some stuff for him. Next question, is list building part of the course? Yes, that's a great question, and something I didn't include at all. It's a good point. List building is part of the course. However, it's not a necessary component to being successful. So what I mean by that is I'll cover it both ways, because I know people don't like list building and other people do. So it works both ways. And, I'm going to cover it both ways that way. This is actually a really good question as well. Do you see us driving each other's CPC costs up if several enter the same niche, or not because so much traffic? This is you're asking all the right questions, because this is stuff that a lot of people think but never ask. So I appreciate you asking this. The answer just isn't very easy. So if everybody, so let's say, say we got 100 people in the coaching program, and obviously only 30 of them are going to get access to the list of the niches, but the other 70 could go to ClickBank and do the work like I did and find them. So let's just say 100 of them find the niches and enter them, and we're all bidding against each other. Then you're in the same ballpark as a weight loss niche. So to answer your question, yes, you could be bumping everyone's CPCs up like each other. However, it's extremely unlikely, because I can tell you from past experience, if I've got 100 people that are doing this, maybe 10 to 15 are actually doing it. The others are learning but not doing yet. They're, they got distracted with life, there's work, all that kind of stuff. So it's a good question, and you're right. Like, if you just get a bunch of people start bidding on something, that's how the prices go up, because it's in more demand. However, you're just, my email list isn't that big, so I'm not going to be putting thousands of people into this where it's really going to affect anything. D is saying my website's not working. Let's see, got it pulled up here. It looks like it's working now, D. Maybe it was down for a bit. I'm not sure. Next question, are the websites advertorial type pages? Not really, no. So, you can run advertorials on Google without a problem. A few of the biggest advertisers in the world that run on Google use advertorials. However, the strategy or really the kind of the layout and the feel of the website is not really an advertorial. All right, guys, if you got kind of a last call for questions, I've got a couple more left, and it looks like I already answered a few. So get your questions in. We'll be wrapping up here so that I can get this recording wound up, made available to the rest of the people who weren't able to attend tonight. So get your questions in so I can get them all answered while I'm on the call here still. John, great question. How is the refund rates with these types of niches? These types of niches are like hardly ever refund. Now the caveat to that would be if you just do a really bad job of promoting it and basically lie about what it is, and they end up buying solely based on your recommendation, which not likely to happen. Answered the list building one already. Well, I guess maybe I didn't. So the Rich, you asked if it has a list building component. It has the ability to build the list, not necessary. So I'll show both ways. Don, ONS stands for Oddball Niche Secrets. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Hey, Peter, good question. Will you be building a profitable setup, like ads, website sales from scratch as part of the course over the shoulder like AGZ, or just covering the theory of how it's done? Yeah, I'll absolutely be building it over the shoulder like AGZ. Difference being from AGZ is that it's not going to be individual videos like, spread out like pre-recorded videos. It's going to be live coaching sessions once a week, and they'll typically run anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. I try and keep them at 2 hours, and if for some reason I don't get something recorded on the live session, then I will absolutely create a video to show how to do something if I missed it. So everything, to answer the question, everything will be covered on video over the shoulder as I set up an example, profitable type setup. So for sure. Jim asks, how will we know if we made the cutoff for the Skype call? Not sure if I made it. Fingers crossed. If you want, shoot me an email, and it probably won't be till tomorrow that I can actually go back through and check to see where the cutoff is. I can tell though that the cutoff for the Skype call is definitely gone. As of right now, sorry. As of right now, it's gone. I don't know when you signed up, Jim. Alex asking, can you drive traffic straight to a Quizlander? Absolutely. Yep. There are actually, so Quizlanders work very well, even in the very, very big, more expensive niches. So there's I'm trying to think of what it is. As an example, if you want to go to Google and type in intermittent fasting, and you'll probably see an ad from dofasting.com. I think they use a Quizlander that works very well. I almost bought the product because it was such a great funnel. I believe that's the site. How much ad budget should we start with? Yeah, like I said earlier, about $200 is really ideal to kind of get your feet wet. Like that obviously won't be all you need before you'll be you know, before it'll be self-funding, but it's enough to get you going to where um, you can get started on a pretty reasonable level and let that run for a decent amount of time. You don't want to just run for a couple of days and turn it off, because you're not letting Google try and get you the best type of people. So they'll learn, even just search traffic. They've gotten really good at showing your ad to the best type of person based on what is typed in. John said, just an FYI, Google match ad spend if you're a new account. So that's a good point. Sometimes you got to just watch those. Sometimes that is only for like express accounts, or like only basically like local business accounts. But yeah, they used to do that all the time. Actually, they'd mail me stuff like once a week trying to get me to sign up, even though I already had an account. I already had like 3 accounts. Cool. That's all the questions, guys. So thank you very much for being on the call, on the live training, and I appreciate all the questions and all the feedback. It was great to have everybody on. It truly means a lot to me to see that. So thank you so much. Last thing, just remember the bonuses. The first one is gone. The third one, which is the Skype call, is gone. The first 10 people. The other 2, the 30 niches and the website, I don't know if they're gone or not. Honestly, I can't tell without doing like backwards math in my head. So just get in while you can. If you are unsure, ask. Shoot me an email. Again, I probably won't be able to respond till tomorrow, and I'll be able to tell you from there if you made it in time. But it's being recorded. The recording will be put up here as soon as I get off, and then takes Zoom a little bit of time to process. But I'll shoot an email out to everybody, let everybody know that the recording is up and ready to view. So again, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Have a great night.